Chapter 2. Your Field of Goodness. Have you ever picked up a spiritual book only to realize that it wasn't written for who you were at that time? Perhaps the book was too advanced for you and you needed some help getting started, or perhaps the book assumed that you were a beginner and you felt the need to skip through a lot of the basic material. This will not be the case here because you are not trying to achieve anything by reading this book. This is a book meant to change and transform you at a deep inner level as you read. And it does not do so through mental coercion or logic. It does not do so through persuasive rhetoric. Instead, what this book does is to guide you to release more and more of your resistance surrounding the subject of money as you read it. We all have unknowingly picked up resistance and certain ways of thinking in our daily lives. Our resistance causes all those negative feelings when we think about money. When the resistance is gone from within us, then not only will the negative feelings be gone, but so will our perceived problems and issues surrounding money. As you read this book, drop any notion that you have any issue or problem with finances that need to be solved. Thinking that you have a problem is a large part of the problem itself. Instead, focus on your current well-being. We are not here to solve any problems. It is not the intention of this book to solve any problems. Instead, the purpose of this book is to change how you think and feel about money. When you can get to that magical place of feeling good, that is when things will start happening for you. There are so many things which you can focus upon right now as you read this book. First, you may become aware that you have the time to read this book. You have the freedom to decide how to spend your time and what actions you would like to pursue. That is the ultimate freedom, which no one can take away from you. Second, you may be aware that you are reading this book in your favorite chair or the favorite spot in your home. Feel how comfortable this place is for you. Feel how safe you feel right here in this moment. This familiar reading spot is always one which you can return to, time and time again. I love to do my reading in a few places around the house. Each of those places is sacred to me for a reason. When I need to do my deepest thinking or spend some time with myself, I retreat to one of those spots, away from the outside world. I encourage you to do the same. See the time you spend reading this book as sacred time with your higher self. You are not sitting there doing nothing or engaged in fantasy. You are having an important conversation with your higher self. Most of us are so concerned with worldly issues and problems that we rarely turn inwards. We are so focused on solving the problem or finding a solution to the problem that we operate in a very outer-directed mode. But what if the answers to life are not found out there? What if all the answers to life are found within you? I encourage you to ponder this possibility. If the answers to life can be found outside of ourselves in all of our worldly knowledge, then those who study the most would have found it. The scholars of our world would be the happiest people in our world. Those who know the most would be leading the most fulfilled lives. But are they? I encourage you to ponder the possibility that the answers we seek lie within each of us. Give up the need to search on the outside for your answers. This lifelong search for something outside of ourselves causes people to be unable to sit still or to enjoy their lives for even one moment. Even if they achieved all their financial goals, they are worried about losing it or obsessed with earning more. Is that true abundance? What is true abundance? When you realize that you can connect with the essence of true abundance in any moment, then not only will the dollars not matter to you, but they'll also flow to you in large amounts. That is the whole irony of it all. When you finally give up the need for something, what you were so needful for previously starts flowing to you in huge quantities. But you would no longer react to it in the same way with lust. You would react to this newfound reality in your life with grace and poise. Just for now, I would like to invite you to connect with the true essence of true abundance in your life. Initially, your ego mind may object. The most common objection or exercise it throws up is, "This is a silly exercise. Everything is just happening in the mind. It is not real." For those of you who have been giving in to the ego mind, or rather feeding it, for a longer period, it may say, "What's the use of doing all these mental exercises? Nothing in the real world is going to change. Your financial situation is certainly not going to change." Therein lies the mistaken belief of the ego mind. The ego mind does not know universal truth. It only knows lack and limitation. It only knows scarcity. It only knows what society and the individual self has programmed it to know over the years. Therefore, when the ego mind says these mental exercises are not real, it does not know better. It is not speaking the truth. All it is merely doing is regulating pieces of faulty programming which it has been replaying for you over and over again. The biggest irony is that what the ego mind feeds you is just as untrue or unreal. It is constantly offering you false thoughts that seem real based on our faulty understanding of the world. An acronym for fear is false emotions appearing real. That is why, in the beginning, you must push ahead regardless of your mind chatter. Just gently let it go. Ignoring your mind chatter, you settle down and decide to connect with the essence of true abundance within you. Close your eyes and just feel abundant. A very light intention is all you need here. Remember, when living these spiritual principles, all you need is a very light touch, and the universe responds spontaneously and beautifully. Force plays no part in any of this. You do not have to force the universe to give you anything. You do not have to force the universe to respond. The need to use force comes when you believe you will not always get what you want, and therefore have to try all ways and means to get it. This is, again, our faulty logic at work. All of the universe is always equally present at all times for you. There is no need to force energy to flow. It just is. You are immersed in the universal field, whether you know it or not. Trying to force your universal good is like standing in a beautiful field of marigolds, and then forcing the flowers to come to you. That's absurd, because the flowers are already here and are in bloom all around you. You just need to open your eyes and see them. Similarly, all you need to do is to open your inner eyes to recognize the inherent abundance that is already here. Right now, you are standing in a beautiful field of flowers. The flowers are there, but you cannot see them. Why is that so? We are so busy looking on the outside for certain people, circumstances, and methods which we believe can help us achieve our goals, that we hardly take the time to turn inwards. When you turn inwards, you realize that what you have been looking for is there all along. The feeling of abundance, which you so eagerly yearn for, has been there waiting for you all along to experience it. Why does the mind search for so many answers on the outside? It searches for answers to keep you safe. It believes that without the answers, you will suffer unwanted outcomes. Therefore, it keeps projecting these endless disasters and worst-case scenarios in your mind in an attempt to keep you safe. This is where so much of our mind chatter comes from, and our mind chatter is not real. It is merely our old way of responding to stuff, as we have always done. If your mind has only known financial lack all of its life, then that is the only picture it can paint if left to itself. Similarly, if your mind has known financial abundance all its life, then the picture of abundance is the only picture it knows how to project continually onto the world. The good news is that you can change this picture in your mind any time, and it will. It is just a picture in your mind. What I am suggesting here goes beyond all that. We are not trying to make anything happen in this book. Remember what I said about not trying to go anywhere or even seek the right answers? That's why I invite you not even to try and paint any pictures in your mind. Don't force a picture of abundance in your mind. That may be difficult for some people. To a mind that has always defaulted to pictures of lack, it can be challenging to deliberately conjure up images of prosperity. Hence, give all of that up. Don't even try to do it. All I suggest is that you close your eyes, clear all thoughts from your mind, and gently hold the intention of abundance. What does abundance feel like to you? For me, abundance feels like ease and flow. It feels like safety and security. It feels like something solid and dependable that I can use for support in my life. That is the feeling of abundance for me. Close your eyes right now and get in touch with your feelings of abundance. If you had all the money you desired, how would it feel like to you? Your feelings will be unique to you, and they may have a certain intangible quality to them. You may not be able to easily describe the resulting feeling in words, but you'll always know it when you feel it. It will feel special and just right for you. Don't even try to describe your feelings of abundance in words. We limit ourselves the moment we try to put words and labels to our experiences. Instead, focus on the full experience of the abundant feeling. You may feel a general sense of lightness, of joy, or an incredible sense of freedom. Whatever the feelings are, immerse yourself in them. In the beginning, you may not be able to feel your full abundance. You may feel just a little bit of it, but it is there all the same. This is all right because we have all been so conditioned to pay attention to what goes on outside of ourselves that we have forgotten how to use our inner senses. We have lost touch with our inner world, but our inner world will always be there. Therefore, don't be afraid that you have to seek hard for it, otherwise it will disappear. It will not disappear. Those feelings of inner abundance are always there for your discovery, no matter when you return to them. They are a part of the eternal essence of who you are, and not some fleeting illusion. As such, know that even if you do not manage to connect with the full essence of this abundance in a single sitting, it does not mean these feelings are not there. Right now, you are standing in a beautiful field of flowers. This is a wonderful analogy to use, and a wonderful imagery to remind yourself of. Take a photo, or find a beautiful picture of a field of your favorite flowers, one that shows blooming flowers stretching out all the way into the horizon. If you need some reminder of this timeless spiritual truth, take a look at that photo. No words are necessary. The imagery will remind you that you are already immersed in your field of goodness.